Hi, my name's Doug. I'm here at William Head Institution. Thank you for joining me. Funny thing happened to me when I was coming along to the penitentiary today. Nothing ever funny ever happens to me.
Everything that means anything. It's my history. My future. My innermost desires.
When we got them right, when they were buying into it and I was getting hung at the end, no one moved in their seat. Not a muscle. No one breathed. And they were uncomfortable. It didn't sit well with them, and they were brought home. They were brought home to the fact that not only were they watching a guy get hung, they were watching a guy get hung who was a criminal, and they were watching him play in an institution.
Punishment is not a deterrent. It has not been successful. That if we're going to be successful in reintegrating people back into the community, we're going to have to do it with something that is far more meaningful.
William Head on Stage is a unique program to federal institutions or provincial institutions anywhere in North America that we know of. It is inmate conceived, inmate driven, inmate participated in, and the success or the failure falls directly on the inmates of the institution.
It is a good place. And it's marketable. The name is marketable. The author is marketable. It's Canadian content, and that's certainly...
Serving a life sentence with a 10-year minimum. I don't know, it's a totally unique program.
I got into it just because it's fascinating watching it grow from, each production grow from nothing to the final product is really interesting.
Okay, doing 10 and a half, I got into the Who's because I was able to express my art through makeup, set designs, painting the sets and stuff.
Serving 5 years, got involved with the university program. I like to write, and it's an excellent form of expression. It also is the most constructive use of your time while you're here.
What I want to do is a play of, it's a comedy, 7 to 10 people maximum, because that number of people are controllable. You don't get caught up in too many people just quitting when they want to, or like Ray said, you can't keep that many guys, out of trouble.
Yeah, I also think that comedy is the way to go here because, well, like you guys say, right? I mean, you want people to leave here feeling good about what they just paid to see, and you always want people to come back.
There's something to be said for theater for the sake of theater, just for making people laugh as an escape. But I think there should be more to it than that. I think you should have something to say.
Laughter is the best part of any play because laughter is like a drug. It takes you away from the reality. It takes away your worries and cares.
There's always times when there's going to be disagreements. There's always going to be times when we don't see eye to eye on something. There's always going to be times when we as the administration are going to, in the end, going to say, this is the way things are going to happen.
We've been forewarned this time. When we cast this play, no one's going to go give us special treatment this time. So if someone ends up in the digger, they're in the digger, and we better take that into serious consideration before we cast this play.
My name is Frank Borg. I'm really happy to be doing this. I'm excited both of these shows. Come out here, be relaxed, have fun with the parts, and just kind of read it the way you kind of feel it should be read. That's all. And just kind of be animated if you feel like to be animated, and just have a lot of fun with it.
I went through a very extreme battle to get Frank in here. If there's any problems with this production, Frank goes. Because Frank is an ex-blues member.
Inmate ain't prisoners. That's a whole different word.
Same thing.
No, not the same thing at all.
See, look here.
Good for nothing, miserable, God-defying, mother-hating son of a bitching.
Well, okay, wait a sec. I'm lost. I'm sorry, man. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's almost like a community spirit takes place. And that is something that doesn't happen in prison at all, any prison. But the problem that remains in institutions is lack of responsibility, and it's the old nature versus nurture argument, that if you take someone that's irresponsible, okay, put them in a place where they're given no responsibility, how are they going to come out responsible people? That's impossible. That's just not going to work. If you've got nothing to think about except for failures in your life, that's what you'll believe. Right? And that's what you'll see as the outcome of everything that you do. Whereas if you've got some accomplishments and some commitments seen through to the end, then you've got something else to think about.
Laughs, leaves humming heat wave, lilac waves, notices that his hand is trembling. For this we're doing two one-act plays. That's the first time William had done that. Personally, I really like one-act plays because of the intensity of the plays. They're all compact, they're not kind of stretched out, it's like boom, boom, boom. Today basically what we're going to do is we're going to read through the scripts and we're going to talk about the plays. And everybody's input is important.
Then cure me.
No.
It's because I did your wife, isn't it? Don't hold it against me forever, for Christ's sake. I mean, goddamn it, man. She came to me.
Michael producing a switchblade with incredible speed and efficiency.
You've murdered old Joseph. Look at him lying there. I taught that old man how to play dominoes. Oh, God, he's missing a foot. Where's his foot? What's done is done.
Some of these guys you see in here, and they walk around with their attitudes and whatever. You get them in there and you put a script in their hands, and I don't give a fuck. Gets dropped from the vocabulary pretty quick. They discover a lot about themselves. One of the things that they discover is they're not as limited as they thought.
They've realized that there's something that they want out of life that's not criminal, and it's not unhealthy, and it's not detrimental to society, but they still want it.
Yeah, thank you. That sounded pretty good for a first read there, guys.
Brings me back to the time when I was a kid. My parents used to tie me to the oak tree. All the other kids used to tease me, and I would chase them. It was a good thing for them. The chain would snap around my neck before I caught them.
Okay, I'm costume designer for both plays. I saw a production here for the first time last year. I was excited about the project. I was excited about the program itself because it's the type of thing that I want to do with theater that I do. More specifically, I've worked with like troubled youth gangs and that type of situation, and I was excited about this prospect as an extension of that type of activity. Obviously, so it's a little bit of that, a little bit of that. We're all have the potential to be here. We just haven't got caught yet, have we? So no.
Let him walk back to the step, and then deliver your next line. Okay?
I haven't done anything. You're the president. I've been in here the whole time. You forgot about the important things. I didn't cook the meatloaf. All you care about is yourself. Everything I did was for the population. You 86 my act. You're crazy. Tell him, Eddie. Tell him what? That a clown's important. What's a clown compared to culture? I'm a cultured clown. The blues band would have given this place some respectability. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Forget it. Looks like Frank's done it a few times.
I paid a heavy price. I lost my business. I owned my own business in town here, an auto body shop. I filed bankruptcy and everything, so I paid. I didn't get off this easy, right? So I'm in here for this. Let's talk about that, right? which is drugs, a couple pounds of coke. Right? Fine, I'm getting out. I'm not doing life. Doing 3 years, you know, and it's been good to me. I've been, you know, got involved in these plays and I'm playing Smoke. He's the president of the inmate committee. I did it as a confidence builder. That's the main reason, right? Like, can I get up there without freezing? And like, I don't think I'm an actor by no means, right? But I did it for the challenge to get the old brain working and, you know, see if I could still remember and stuff like that. Sometimes you're, you know, I think my memory's shot, but I get up there and I studied and hey, you know, I got a memory, it's still working, right? This Who's thing is pretty unique, so it's something I'll never forget.
I've always been good at building things. My father was an engineer ever since I was a kid. Give me anything, I'll build it. I made broke clocks, tables, furniture. I had 5 legitimate incomes. Okay? So we decided we're going to start a family. So my oldest daughter passed away at 2, and Lori kind of went strange. She was in a psychiatric ward, and I started hitting booze and drugs and whatever it took not to have to go home to deal with it. So I was a little shit disturbed when I was a kid. When I got here, I knew a dozen guys. It was just amazing. Guys I hadn't seen in 10 years. I just wondered what happened to them. Right, well, now I know. But my quest for money is what got me here. Okay? So whose is my time off? My time not to worry about monetary. Nothing. Okay, well, I have to worry about the budget. But that's not personal gain. It's for these guys. Well, it's for me too, but it's for everyone.
Nobody will notice if we're on. What do you suggest? How about that? You got ink all over my memo. Just came in today. Kids will love it. You got ink all over my memo! It's not the same guy since you became president. Same as always.
As soon as a guy gets elected as the chairman of the inmate committee, if you ran another poll 2 weeks later, he probably wouldn't get elected again. It's only the guys that have the utmost respect in the institution to get elected in the first place, but as soon as you get elected to the position, everyone thinks that everything you do and all your actions are dictated by the fact that you're not the same guy because now you've got this position.
I've got to organize the social, the time, the space, the finances, the entertainment.
I am the committee chairman, but and I take a lot of flack from people saying, "Well, yeah, you're just their go boy now." You know, every time there's an ozone memorandum, watch the sun tanning. You know, they call me up there to pick up this stupid paper. I gotta walk a half a mile to pick up this stupid paper to post it for them.
We'll see. My whole life's in here. Everything that means anything. It's my history, my future, my innermost desires.
You have to change and work for them. You know, you got to work within their boundaries. You can't be the lunatic radical that is what got you elected.
You said that.
See the way he plays with words?
Yeah.
He's a word man, Eddie.
Yeah.
Thinks he can fool us by mixing words around.
Yeah.
We're not stupid, right?
No.
He's not even 50 with guys like us, is he?
No.
We can let him get away with this?
No. Ah! I'm the president! You can't do this to me! I deserve respect! I earned it!
We're painting this set for Beyond Mozambique. Well, I can express all emotions through my artwork. The times that I'm sad, it can be a very mellow picture, or the times that I'm angry, it could be either an ugly to violent to a very loud sort of picture. I'm here for armed robbery. My relationship broke down and I got involved in drugs, and to support my drug habit, I got into criminal activity. I'm 32 years old, and if I don't have my act together pretty quick, then I'm going to end up spending the rest of my life in prison. And I've got 3 kids out there who love me very much, and I think it's time that I watch them grow up rather than hear about them growing up.
Go ahead and file it. Facing the guard. Down, choosing for Sendel.
Like a border, crushing my skull. 25 years spent crossing the roads of wilderness.
Guy's name's Enrico Rocco. He's kind of he's a bit of a mad scientist.
Think about Rocco that's at least like David. Rocco has a hard time getting it on with his wife. I think that would be the least side of me.
But how to explain that I cannot love? There is a tower growing in the jungle. It is the power of light and the shrewd mind of darkness. It is the culmination of all history and civilization, and it's turning my mind into soup.
People take advantage of so many things, and without really even realizing, we don't have bathtubs here. Some people, a lot of guys in here go years and years and years without having a bath. Or, even like not being able to go down to the corner store and pick up a pack of smokes. Or people don't realize what that means to be able to do that. And when it's taking, make love to your wife or your girlfriend, when you can't do that, that takes a big part of you away. Being in a male-dominated society, I think when it's not around, you're not tempted. It's not like you don't think about it. After a while, you forget. You forget the taste and the smell and the sounds, and you forget all that, And so you don't really know. You forget what you're missing.
5 years long.
You could come up to my place. I'd make you something to eat. Something French. Something hot and spicy, covered with a cream sauce. So smooth and delicious, pleasing to the tongue. It'll just slide right down your throat, caressing it all the way down.
And the guard comes across in one scene in one of Eddie's fantasies as being quite sexual. And it feels kind of weird to be doing it to a bunch of people that are in jail, and at the same time, I've got a boyfriend on the outside and stuff. So it's the same as acting with anybody else, except that there is the turn-on factor. I mean, there's no women here, so. And I'm not saying that I am turning these guys on, but you feel kind of weird doing it sometimes.
I'll pay the going rate.
There is no going rate, mister.
You're a bore.
You're an asshole.
I could force you.
No, you couldn't.
I'm in for possession for the purpose of cocaine. I've been doing 3 years right now, and it's up to the great God of parole boards how long I'm going to be. The problem I find with a dorm is just like, it's the heat. You can smell everybody. It's the sound carries real easy, and it's just like a little room. You try to do as much as you can to decorate it a bit. Well, you miss a lot of privacy here because, I mean, let's face it, nobody likes to hear the next person snore next door. I mean, nobody likes to hear somebody blow wind in the middle of the night, you know. This is a real degradation. Well, I start cooking in the kitchen at 5:30 in the morning, and you caught me in my bed because I'm just waking up to go and finish cooking. I can't have an hour time to come back and sleep an hour. And then we start to play at 4:30.
It's always terrible, bad, greasy. It's sickening. Is what it is. It's, you know, but you got to eat something, so we eat here, right? You know.
I love the food here. I've never had it so good. We have good days, we got bad days.
I mean, but get a close look at this. See that? That's raw. Right? It's sickening.
And my idea was that people really didn't have the luxury to consider philosophy until they had enough food to sit around and think. And so that was the theme I started off with.
There's more important things in life than eating, Eddie. These guys are starving for culture in here.
Is that why they're always stealing food?
What?
Food from the cafeteria.
How the hell should I know?
You're here, just like the rest of us.
We have pierogies, cabbage, with rice. We have a vegetarian meal of rice. And we have sour cream.
Dogs, fries, buns, chicken, sandwiches.
Well, usually I complain to him, he complains to him.
That's about it.
And he doesn't listen.
I'm a bank robber. That's why I'm in jail for robbing a bank. And part of the reason I robbed the banks was financial, but the other part of it was a great excitement that came with that type of activity. I find now being up on a stage in front of people, there's a certain amount of fear, same level of fear, and a level of achievement that I've discovered. Well, I play Eddie, and Eddie's kind of guy who works in the kitchen. He doesn't have anything else on his mind except for food.
After my food ran out, I could hear their knives and forks scraping across the china plates. I could hear them chewing on their food. The smell of food seeping right up through the cracks and creeping right up my nose and into my brain, strangling me, choking me.
To research this role, I've had to look at everybody around me. Is that Eddie? Is that guy moving like Eddie? Is he eating like Eddie? Is he walking or talking like Eddie would walk and talk? No, it's the wrong type of character. So I've gone to just watch people, you know? And I think that's helped me discover who I really am.
Evil intent!
That's one of the interesting things I seen when I read this script. I said to Frank, this looks very familiar, because I was involved or caught up, swept up into a riot in '81 in Masqui. And it happened in the dining room, the same way he describes it, with a bottle of ketchup being thrown against the wall, and it just erupted in the dining room and spread everywhere.
All of a sudden, someone let out a scream and hurled a ball of HB sauce against the wall. Smash!
Next thing you know, there's meatloaf and potatoes all over the place.
So the riot happened, developed over food, but there are always underlying reasons to why riots take place.
Then the bullets started to fly. Blood everywhere. On the walls, on the cookware, on the plastic plates. Dripping like gravy. Only cleaner, purer, more real.
I can really relate. The fear I've seen on people's faces is something that has never gone away.
You know, that's about it. I'm running out. I feel like I'm under pressure here.
Time, not enough of it. Do you have any?
Yeah, it's getting pretty scary, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've just been pulling literally all-nighters, getting people into shape for this play. You know, everybody's done something with the construction around here. Everybody that has a few minutes.
Newsflash. What we wanted was a reasonable facsimile of a gun, okay? Don't make it look real, just something that they can hold in their hand and point at someone while the other guy's pointing the knife at them so that they can get a feel of a conflict.
If you wanted guns, we'll have real guns. You know, we're not, you know, we don't need a little piece of plywood cut into a gun-type shape to get anything around here.
Next thing you know, they grab these two guys, they charge them for making a weapon, search their cells, and now the whole thing's out of control, okay? Just like that. They're looking for bullets.
In much higher securities in this institution, the array of weaponry would give the average citizen a bad scare, right?
So as the actresses were leaving, they were looking for bullets, and lo and behold, they found a couple of pictures.
They all seem to get into the snowball effect. Well, yeah, we'll charge them. Let's go search their houses, and yeah, well, we'll get to the bottom of this. And they hold these big meetings.
Okay, one of the actresses took out for an inmate some pictures with an introductory letter to an author, to a prison author, as an introduction from another prison author. It's serious, and it's something they can't overlook. Might be an introduction letter and a few pictures, but it's still contraband leaving a federal institution.
With her being caught breaking the rules, if they don't kick her out, security will be in a snit. They'll say, well, where does it stop and start? Well, you know, why are we told this is a rule if it's not a rule? And they'll really ride who's. So I can't imagine them allowing her back in here.
And so this morning I found out that it was a no-go. I don't think that one person goes through there without a good experience. I think that it's great. I probably don't sound it from the and just shook up.
We don't know what the consequences of this are, okay? What we're hearing right now is, okay, go along with the play like it's gonna happen. You got a week to go and you're technically 2 actresses short. She was in both plays, okay? So we just scramble. We just go like there's a play.
That's where the heat comes from, sitting on the board and being the people trying to arrange it and make a production happen. That's, you know, we can't just sit there and slide things through, and when it's gravy, we pat ourselves in the back. This is where the work comes in. We're gonna do, you know, go out of our way to make this thing fly. We've put it off our opening for a week, and they just want it to happen. You know, they've invested, you know, a certain amount of time, and they want to see it all come to fruition. Okay, what we're down to is Frank has contacted another actress, and Frank's at the stage where he believes if this actress says no, then we should just pack up the whole shop and forget the play. I've explained to Frank, don't even think about that.
whose is important. Frank can go on about his life, and it's no big deal. But to whose, this is an incredibly big deal.
We attempted to find other actresses, and we thought we had a couple, and for various reasons they had to back out, and the logical thing was to postpone the show to the fall.
I got 30 days to go. I have a daughter, and I haven't seen her in 3 years. That's my first consideration, first and foremost, is my family. And I won't jeopardize that for anything. Right? I've taken this thing as far as I can take it. I've given as much as I can give. Without Who's, I think I would have gone in a lot different direction. I've got a lot personally out of Who's, for sure.
I'm Ray's right-hand man. In 30 days, I'll be doing Ray's job, or as soon as he gets out. So we were going to proceed going ahead.
That's the only problem, right? Brian could go in September, right?
Yeah.
So what about Kenny? You getting out soon? Planning to get out
Kenny's
soon?
getting out real soon.
Is he? You taking your
When would the play be over? When would the last
October
show be
24th.
done? That's when the last show would be done?
Yes, the last show is October 24th.
Oh man, our predicted mandatory date's the 20th.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult not having him or Brian if I'm still here, you know.
I don't know, if I was to stay, just hypothetically speaking, I stayed for the 4 days, it would be just because of, not just for myself, but for everybody else, for the play.
So I can't speak for anybody else, but for myself, I would stay a week if necessary. I don't think any longer than that.
I would have to really think about that, because if I woke up the morning of September 20th, and it's 8:30 in the morning, and I thought I could be walking out the gate right now, I could be leaving the institution right now. Like, I could be sitting at home in an hour. That's something that a guy would really have to think about, because like 4 days doesn't sound like much to anybody out there, but 4 days in here is 4 days. Like, it's 4 days too long.
At the same time, as I got a little older, my parents used to tell me, don't go near the basement door. And one day it was open a crack. So I went up and I took a look, and I opened it and I saw the grass and the trees and the sunshine, and that was it. In actual fact, they kept me locked in the basement and under malnutrition.
So I made a commitment to the William Head thing for the time. It didn't come through because of a decision made by the warden. It's going there on a daily basis. It was hard not to get sucked into the emotional and psychological traps that exist there all the time, and I think it's in the best interest for everybody involved that they just start fresh out there and you know, come into it with a good attitude, and if the plays go up, that'd be great. If they choose another play, that'll be great as well. There's you know, it's just one of those things that happen, and I just can wish them luck, that's all.
I feel like I've been played with a little bit, right? Like first was on, was off.
We gave up a lot of time and energy to, you know, plus our spirits were all up in the air, and now it's just come to a kind of a crash.
It's like all of our energy went into a vacuum, right? Boom. You know, it's that's what we're missing. We're missing the payoff of the audience clapping, of you know, knowing everybody did a good show. It's just bad luck. It's part of what happens doing theater in jail.
I think this is just one chapter in the story of the William Head on stage.
Let's see, what's the difference between... Boy, this is hard. I'm starting to wear myself thin on this one.
Oh, no, it's something else. Having a new president on the Who's board is a real downer because this was Ray's baby. He was the head producer. With a new president of the Who's and new people involved in the cast, basically starting from scratch again. Hi, I'm Crystal. I'm the director.
Hi, Crystal.
This is Delaney. I'm sure you know him, and he's going to be helping me stage manage till he gets out. And actually, I'm going to hold him prisoner here, so he can...
Good choice of words.
and this is Dave, and he's playing Walter in the audience. And that's Ken, and he's playing Jake, the clown.
Yeah,
I'm just
Ken,
kidding. I'm just today. I'm not looking for a performance today. I just want to read. Don't feel like you're on the spot. Let's start with Leftover Crumbs then.
Well, what do you suggest?
How about that?
There's ink all over my memo.
Just came in today. The kids will love it.
You got ink all over my memo.
Just not the same guy since he became president.
Same as always.
I'll put your clothes. I want to see you naked.
Oh, Lance, he's a priest.
He ain't white. He's one of them, a mulatto or something.
No, Chinese. Half Chinese.
Shut up.
I'll show you some identification. My name is... I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. Ledoux. Father
Well, what do you
Ledoux.
suggest?
There's ink all over my memo.
No, that's me. Huh.
I'll laugh at it.
There's ink all over my memo.
Just came today. Kids love it.
Yeah, I think I have more than enough to choose from, and I'm looking for attitude more than I am talent. So good attitude will get them the role.
I was convicted of second-degree murder back in 1987 in the city of Winnipeg, and I'm doing 12 years to life. That's why I'm here. I was apprehensive. I wasn't going to show up, but my buddy Joe here kind of kicked me in the butt, and here I am. I don't feel too confident getting up in front of people, and this is going to be a good experience for me personally, and that's another big reason why I'm trying this out.
But I'm sure that the person who's going to take over is going to do a good job. I mean, there's other parts ahead of me. I'd like to keep on with it out there, you know.
I'll be leaving here about 10 days before the last show, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't get involved in the plays this time around. I wanted to get up on stage, I wanted to play Jake, and I wanted to make it the best performance I had ever done here. I have done a couple other performances here, but I wanted this one to be the big one. The one I nailed to the wall before I left.
Want to push you over that way, Bart?
No. I play committee chairman in the first play, right? And you know, I'm up there. I can't tell if I'm doing good or not. I'm getting my lines out. I'm getting what I can, but I'm not an actor. You know, like that's why I like to be in the light booth. I get to watch the actors. I get to see how people are doing it. I was chairman of the committee. I became president of Who's when Ray left. I will not be the Who's president that has anything fall apart.
Keep away!
Get it back.
Keep away!
Don't do it!
Damn you! Damn you!
No, don't! Oh my God, my work!
Ah! Out of my house!
Problem is that what happened, I heard was, no, don't. Ah! Oh my God, my work, nothing. Out of my house. It's got to be, no, don't. Ah! Oh my God, my work, out of my house.
Yeah, scream right after.
Stupid woman! Goddamn lunatic! You ruined my work! Fine.
I think when you can find something like acting that enables you to get a lot of feelings out, biplaning apart, it's pretty beneficial.
You've lost your mind. It's for nothing. They'll look up your war record and they'll put you in prison forever.
It's for my work. And I will find the cure to end all cures.
But the reality is you can't leave here. And I think if you were on the most beautiful island in the Caribbean or wherever, and you couldn't leave that island, you'd find something wrong with it.
It's kind of like an excuse for what I've been doing. You know, I know like what I'm doing is wrong. Because in scene 2, I'm going, my conscience, my God, my poor conscience.
You know, I want my life back. I want to. I came in at a pretty early age, and I want out. It's time.
I'm safe in the bowels of the earth. Because there's something about committing crimes against humanity that puts you in touch with the purpose of the universe.
That is the most intellectually obscene comment I've ever heard.
Much better than it's ever been. It's fantastic. It's really nice. It's very
We're fucking rocking now.
The thing that's so special about this place that I'm never going to forget is that when it does pull together, it really pulls together in the sense that once the bond is there, and it's really strong, and it's really powerful. And it's also really unique because you never expect to bond with these people. I mean, whoever gets the opportunity to bond with criminals, right? I mean, you just don't think about that kind of thing, right? And then when it happens, it's fantastic, it's beautiful. I think opening night I'll probably be really excited, mixed in with depressed, because it's all over, right?
It's been my big fear. If it bombs, you know, everybody can go, oh, Barty, right? But the truth is, it's working because everybody did every different job that there was. And that's, I think we got a good show and it's going to happen.
My stomach's in knots and I'm shaking. My hands are clammy.
Well, I work at the New Bastion Theatre Company, one of the major regional Canadian theatres, and I was quite excited to find out about this program and to see what was going on here.
That's a little wet. Got my radio, so I can sing. Got my glasses. Got my glasses. Got my glass. Got my nose. My what? Oh, that's my favorite tool. Swifty Sure Swinger.
Not one mistake.
We're fucking laughing, Ralph. We're up there. Wrong crowd. I can say you know what's wrong. Today is strictly the blues. I got tricks I've never used before. I'm going down in history. Con history. I'll be known as the president that brought in the live blues band. They'll be talking about me in Attica, Sing Sing, Walla Walla. They might even make a movie.
Something that I got to hear. Darling, come back to your heart.
Maybe I'm stupid or something, but those two words don't look nothing like to me.
Inmates, convicts, prisoners!
They all mean the same thing, Eddie. It's just a matter of diction, colloquialisms. I think inmate sounds kind of stupid. You almost hit me. You got a problem with that? Yeah, I got a problem. Didn't really mean that, did you? Did I project?
Very nice.
Do a couple lines, still working. I feel good. Did you notice we even maybe didn't screw up? All right, I'm off to meet my public.
His faculties, I tried to wake him. We'll give him that teddy bear.
Okay, I know my lines, right? But my biggest fear is I have a problem called nervous laughter. And when I was being sentenced, I started laughing.
Where's all those sports?
Good luck.
What's wrong with you? Have you no respect for human life?
Strange comings, strange goings. Mysterious sounds in the night. People mucking about with government property. Add all that up and tell me what it sounds like to you.
Les Miserables by Victor Hugo.
I'm not an impotent man, you son of a bitch. There are plenty of men who can't do their wives who aren't impotent. They just can't do their wives. For reasons none of your business, for reasons no one knows, they just can't do their wives.
Put the knife away, Doctor. I've got something to tell you.
Be careful, Corporal. 2 wasted years reclaimed from my experiments, and you thrown them into the bushes to rot away uselessly.
You're a butcher!
I'm a scientist!
Scientists experiment with pigs!
It was then that I knew she was in misery. Evil, whining, misery. I don't like the odds, but I will not give up!
Sodomy? obscene sexual abuse, and necrophobia.
Necrophilia?
Yeah, right.
Scene 2, I wasn't sure. Scene 3 was a little better. Scene 4 was good. So scene 5 and 6 are going to be better and better.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully.
Then she started to cry. And her eyes went all spongy, and it was then that I knew that she was in misery. Evil, whining misery.
You killed that little girl?
Shut up, it's a secret.
Hey!
Tomorrow at 3.
All right. Good show.
Good show, Father. They don't have time to, like 5 or 10 minutes to spend talking to the people because they have to go back at 10 o'clock for count. So it's just kind of sad. Sad.
Your life and times is reflected on by a series of memorable events in your life. Well, for most people in jail, there's no events in their lives that take place that they would consider sharing with a bunch of people in a room. So you're robbed of the past. You're robbed of 5 years or 3 years, however long you did. So things that you're robbed of things you can be proud of.
In the scale model, it's got a lot of green, so I just don't like green. It's too institutionalized for me.
Reading their names in the paper, for once in their life, not having, it not being in the crime blotter, does a lot for them. It does, you know.
There's nothing like a little bit of negativity to make you feel real positive.
It's been 7 years for me since I've been with a woman, and I'm still working on it, I think. You know?
You know, there's crooks out there going, okay, well, when I do get busted, work my way to William Head, and I'll get involved in who's. You know, it's a trip. And to be the person responsible for losing who's would be a very bad stigma to carry with you. You know, a lot of people, you couldn't do business in this town as a crook if you were the person that did that.
Come on, think. I've been out on commission for like, what, 2 years now?